I'm Barbara Hellier, and I'm a curator with the National Plant Germplasm System. The station I work with is the Western Regional Plant Introduction Station on the campus of Washington State University in Pullman, Washington. One of the crops that I work with is Allium. We work with all the species of Allium except for Allium cepa and Allium fistulosum, that's onion and bunching onion. So our collection contains garlic, leeks, chives, Chinese chives, and we have about accessions from 85 to 90 of the wild Allium species. 99% of the material that's maintained here in Pullman is stored as seed, and we store that in a storage vault set at 4 degrees centigrade and 30% relative humidity. The storage conditions for garlic are slightly different, so we established a separate storage area, and that's down here, down in the basement, where WSU and has growth chambers and also storage areas. So let's go down and take a look. This is our garlic storage facility. It's a temperature-controlled room that's set at 14 degrees centigrade and 40 to 50% relative humidity. So our collection is stored in these plastic boxes, and we've drilled holes in the side to minimize the amount of moisture that gets accumulated over the storage life. We currently have about 300 accessions in the collection. Our oldest material, the oldest accession that we have in the collection, is this one, and it was added to the collection to the NPGS in 1958, and that's about 4 years after the Pullman station was established. This particular accession is a hardneck variety that was originally collected or donated from the Farmers Family. The bulk of the collection was assembled by Dr. Richard Hannon. He was the former horticultural crops curator here in Pullman. And he started assembling the collection in the early 1980s and continued into the late 1990s. The majority of the material that he added to the collection was from collections in Europe and from researchers in Europe. But we did add material from a small collection from Spain and Turkey. And he also added material cultivars from the U.S. and cultivars that he collected across the U.S. and in countries that he visited during his tenure. Our newest material was added from plant exploration trips, and primarily from Central Asia. So we have new material from Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan. The material from Kazakhstan was collected in markets, but the material from Turkmenistan was collected away from cultivation. We also have material that Dr. Simon and I collected in Uzbekistan. A few of those were collected in the market, but the majority of that material was collected away from cultivation. And we have a couple of accessions that I collected in Tajikistan. And again, those were ones that were collected away from cultivation. So the goal of the NPGS is to assemble collections that represent the genetic diversity of the crops that we are responsible for maintaining. We're currently working with Phil Simon to assess the genetic diversity of the garlic collection. In the past, how we assessed that was by assembling collections from across the species range, or wherever the crop was cultivated, and also looking at the morphologic and phenotypic characteristics of the material. So some of the characteristics that some of the data that we've assembled for the garlic collection are time to sprouting and storage, morphology, allium and thiosulfonate content on a part of the collection. We also have scape or flower stalk formation and flowering characteristics for the hardneck varieties. What I'd like to do now is show you some of the garlic that we have in the collection. So the first succession I want to show you is one of the ones that was collected in Kazakhstan. So it's a nice purple striped garlic. It's got a really nice shape, I think. It's got more of a flat bottom. About 10 cloves per 8 to 10 cloves per bulb. It's really nice color. It does really well here in Pullman. The next succession is another one that was collected in Kazakhstan. It's slightly bigger and has a slightly lighter color. Again, it's a flat bottom bulb and about the same amount of cloves per bulb. This one is a really nice consistent producer in Pullman. This is one of the accessions that was collected in Turkmenistan. It's a purple skin garlic, very few cloves per bulb, only about 4 to 5 cloves per bulb. On the larger size, the bulbs are larger. Okay. This is one of our longest storing accessions. It's a garlic, a soft neck garlic. In Pullman, it's on the smaller side. In our storage conditions, it'll store up to and over a year. This accession is one of our shortest storing accessions. It's originally from China. It's early maturing, and as you can see, it's already started to sprout. Because it's early maturing, we often lose a lot of the bulb skins, but the skins are fairly thin. It would be a really good one if you wanted to have green garlic. So this next accession is one that was originally collected in Egypt, and it's a fairly small bulb with lots of cloves, usually around 20 cloves per bulb. It's got the lowest allium content and thiosulfonate content, so it's fairly mild. Again, the size is when it's grown in Pullman. If it's grown in a warmer climate, they tend to the bulbs tend to get bigger. So this next succession is a garlic that was originally grown in Vietnam. Originally came from Vietnam. It's a purple striped type, and in our collection, it has the highest content of the material in our collection. It has the highest content of allium and thiosulfonate. So this accession is an example of a hardneck, and it's not anything that you can tell from the bulbs, but this particular accession is one that has really good flowering characteristics. I particularly like this particular garlic. I think it's got a nice shape, and it's fairly uniform. But the flowers it produces fertile flowers, and we've gotten true seed off of it. Okay, so this accession, although we don't have allium or thiosulfonate content data for it, according to our in-house taste tests, it's one of the more pungent accessions in our collection. And I particularly like this one because of the color. It's got a nice pearly color, and the shape more teardrop shaped. This is another accession of that I particularly like. I like it's a soft-necked variety. It's got a nice uniform shape, and the skins are nice and white. It's originally collected in originally from Slovenia. Here's a composite of all the garlic that I just showed you. So you can compare the colors, sizes, and shapes. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed our short tour of the Natural Plant Germplasm Systems Garlic Collection.